we had this pathway that comes around like this, but they wanted it to go straight through. And
if you wanted to get a plot here, how would you?
What do you mean?
Like one of these little spots?
Yeah.
I can give you my card.
Yeah.
You get in contact.
You live around
with me?
here?
Okay. Yeah, man. We live right there at the bottom of the
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, hanging out with some urban farmers. I was down here for the 5th annual Urban Ag Conference at Northeastern University, and I'm hanging out with Bobby and Tristram, and they are of the Urban Farming Institute, which is a sort of a outreach urban farm, education type urban farm, but they are commercial, they do produce and sell, and so they're taking me on a little tour of some of their urban plots. So I'm just going to kind of be a fly on a wall and follow them around and listen to what they're going to show, and hopefully you guys will find it inspiring.
We try to do a lot of the cover cropping, you know, during the whole winter time.
Yeah.
Because we're not really
Totally.
able to grow.
Yeah.
Then we have little random stuff around here. Like, so we did,
Some garlic coming up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a little bit of a garlic madman. You know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have compost at each site?
Yeah.
Nice.
We build all these. Those are, you have to.
We truck in a lot of compost.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. Yeah.
So like that's like last year's compost.
Oh yeah, people just showing
I
up.
picked up
and
a
taking
couple
some?
of buckets.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many years has it been now? Total, the whole organization?
Well,
5
UFI
years
kind of
for
came
UFI.
out of City
5
Growers.
years.
So City Growers was first,
Yeah.
and then UFI kind of was developed out of City Growers by
Right.
a lot of the same people.
Right.
Yeah.
So City Growers was what, like 8 years now? Or would have been like 8 years ago?
Yeah, it would have been.
And then we
Started
just
in
merged City Growers to
2009.
UFI last year.
Okay.
So
And then
I was
how
working for City Growers.
how does City Fresh fit into all this?
So City-
Glenn.
Okay,
Glenn,
so
basically.
cool.
Yeah.
But what is City Fresh? Is it a hub? A food hub?
It's like more of a institutional food producer, so they make a lot of meals for like camps.
Oh, okay,
Meals
okay.
On Wheels.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they get institutional contracts. And
Right.
They do meal prep.
Oh, I see.
So that's the company that Glenn used to own.
Right.
Or run.
Right.
And the idea was that City Fresh Food, because when we first got into it, we were growing lettuce. So we wanted to grow all the lettuce that they would need for
Right.
one of the camps. So
That's his
kinda
story of how he like got
Integrated.
into it. He was like, "Oh, we're buying all this lettuce from California, and we have like a vacant lot across the street." You know, that's like
Interesting.
Glenn's how he got into urban
Okay.
farming type
Right.
of thing.
Then he found me.
Yeah.
Took him a while to find a farmer.
Yeah.
And then they had Bobby and a couple other people, but it was
Right.
like the need to actually train people came about. That's where UFI came in, is like training the more farmers. You know?
Yeah. Plus, I messed up everything the first year.
Yeah, who
so
doesn't?
I figured, since I messed up everything, I could train everybody how not to do
That's
what
right.
I did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kinda like-
Yeah.
It's a funny thing because the story, like, anybody that gets into this, everybody messes up a lot.
Oh, totally.
The first year.
So how many people in total are involved in like the farm hands and people that work on UFI in the field?
So it's kind of complicated because there's trainees,
Right.
And then there's like different layers of UFI staff. So technically, like farming production staff, last year was only 2.
Yeah.
And that's not
That's
including
not
Bobby.
including
So
me.
like Bobby's obviously very involved in it, but technically he's the trainer. So his department
job.
is training the trainees, whereas
Right.
me and McD, we're primarily like
Working on the
working
farm.
on the farm. McD doesn't even want to be in the same place as the trainees.
Right,
you know?
right.
He doesn't like that, basically. You know, but and then so the trainees can be anywhere from like 3 or 4 to like 10 people each season. And then there's like, you know, aside from that, like people have a way of staying involved, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a bigger extended family of people that,
Call
like Apollo, you know,
farm
Apollo,
Yeah.
he's involved still, but
Right.
not really on the production, but he also does his own thing.
Right.
Have is pretty much about a quarter acre, 12,000 square feet.
Yeah.
That's generally like the smallest size that we would want.
Nice. You got all the rye in. So did you just till all this up and then just broadcast that rye in the fall?
We run it with the Earthway.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Why it just gets the seed down deeper and then birds don't pick it away?
Yeah.
So these are some other raised beds for people in the community too, or?
No, those are. So the story behind those is kind of like we got kicked off of one site, and we kind of had bad blood with the person, so we
Took them.
took all
Okay.
that shit off of there. She was so pissed.
peel
we,
it
we
off.
Came
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it
we
was
got a
us. We
U-Haul,
invested it.
took all
Yeah.
our wood,
Took dirt.
took
Yeah.
took plants, and so basically that's going to be where we grow herbs. But
Yeah,
we
so
just
we have
started
it.
establishing.
Oh,
it last
okay.
year.
Yeah, that's cool. Herb garden with that,
Yeah.
raised beds. That's nice. More garlic.
Kids who do camp here, we give them use of a couple of those. So
Yeah.
they, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we have. I counted them out. We got 13 beds of garlic right here. We went over. I guess I have a thing for garlic.
Yeah, you like garlic, Bobby.
I like. And there's no garlic here.
Yeah.
That's what we always say. There's no garlic. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So these fabas were alive until yesterday.
I know. They look so. Oh man.
So, because the city owns these lots, can only non-profit type urban farms get access to those lots?
No,
Not
necessarily.
technically.
Another one there?
Yeah.
Oh no, we
it's a
passed
No,
that
it's a
one.
community garden.
Oh, that's
But on
community
this
garden.
No, we
side
haven't
too,
passed that.
like that side too, over there, both sides. But what it is that the city wants to get rid of these plots. So they what they would have is a RFP, a request for proposal,
Okay.
and they'll send these plots out as a request for certain people to get, because they could put houses everywhere, but that's not what every community wants. They don't want to be flooded with houses either. So things
Another
like
one.
yeah, they're all over the place.
And they're good sized lots. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta say, this is pretty rare in like urban ag in general when you
Right.
go to big cities. Like, you
Right.
don't see wide open lots like that. It's like tiny yards, tiny lots. These are like
it's 'cause
quarter
the way
acre
Boston
lots.
developed, these neighborhoods were all like essentially streetcar suburbs. So they were like single family homes and like big multi-family homes with quarter acre and plus like size
Right.
lots.
Yeah.
So
So-
in other urban areas are just more dense, you know, like more buildings. Boston's like got that small town kind of village feel.
Right.
It's a walking city.
Yeah.
And so there was a study, there's about 800 of these plots, but about 50 of them are viable for urban farming.
Is that like, well, what is that? Like
That's
contaminated soil and stuff, or?
I mean, it's like viable land.
Sunlight.
Right.
you know,
Okay.
Yeah, like where they are.
Going down the
you know.
checklist of what makes a good
Basically.
site, basically.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
all like preliminary, right? So they bring us lists of plots and they tell me and Bobby to go check them out.
Okay.
So then there's a big community garden here.
Yeah, this is
But-
the Nightingale.
But you know, so they'll like once they establish of those viable sites, these are the ones we're going after, then they'll ask us and we'll give them more of the nitty-gritty perspective.
Right. So we're still in Dorchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is really the area that has the most amount of those lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorchester, Roxbury,
And
Mattapan.
And which one?
And Mattapan, which is like basically south of like the Fowler Clark, that building that's in Mattapan. So
Another lot there.
it's all close, you know.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, huge potential for urban farming in Boston.
Oh,
Just
definitely.
massive.
Definitely.
It's the most
And there's
I've ever
tons of
seen.
urban farms here. That's it. Like we could go to different sections of Dorchester and Roxbury and show you like lots of other urban farms too.
Right.
Like,
Actually, we were
Joy
right near
that was
Revision.
there.
We should have
should've
just gone
stopped.
over there,
Yeah,
but we
didn't think about
didn't. They're like right across the street from Sportsman,
it. Right.
or a couple streets down. And they have a nice greenhouse over there. And then in Dudley area is the food projects territory. So they have sites over there. They have a big greenhouse over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, but yeah, the as far as the RFP thing, like technically anybody could get it, but realistically the city wants to give it to like established groups, most of which are nonprofit.
Right, right,
You know,
right.
like there was one on Bird Street that went up for RFP, and like basically like a private individual responded and nobody else did, and so they like basically were like, nah, we don't want to give it to this person. And it's still up, you know, so it's like
still-
technically it's up for anybody. Realistically they want it to be like a UFI or like a revision.
Well, and then you have a whole organization behind you to help with the bureaucracy of
Right.
getting that whole thing going.
Right.
A new person going in has to start fresh and do it all from scratch.
Yeah.
So,
And with the rules in, like as Article 89 would have it, you know, you got to go in, you have to build up 18 inches, you know, and how much soil is that for a quarter acre?
it's a lot of soil. That's a lot of money up front.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so it's a big cost up front, and you don't really get that return for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, it
That's
takes
right.
time for everything to establish. So that's kind of like why we're set up to actually take on the land, but also give it back out after it's an actual farm.
Right.
You know, so that's what we're doing. Inside the greenhouse, I got the compost heat.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
actually, I need to go check out the heat.
Is it keeping it warm? I want to check that out.
Check it out. Try not to open it up too much.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is warm
this
in here.
is comfortable.
Wow.
There's 60 degrees in here. Yep. And then, so these are stacked with manure, hay, and then there's like some compost that I had did from our house compost. And right now what I'm doing is trying to root out these onions in here.
That's
and
why it smells like
separate
onions
that.
and garlic in here.
Yeah. always something.
Yeah.
And then these are some things that we're just trying out.
Yeah.
You know.
Damn, that's amazing how warm it is. Holy crap. Yeah, from outside, it's like, whew.
It was 80. It was 90 in here when it was like, I think it was like 50 degrees, but still sunny. It was like 90 in here. That was crazy.
Damn.
But it works.
Many solutions in preparation for next level.